Everything that seemed impossible is about to take shape. Not in a predictable way, but through a divine movement that will surprise you tonight. So, for just a moment, silence the doubt in your mind. There is a greater force, beyond any human limit, that is approaching you, preparing a direct encounter, a profound calling, that will not require any effort on your part. It will be intimate, transformative, and revealing. The signs have been around you all along. Remember that inexplicable feeling, when something seemed to change around you without explanation. Or those moments when your intuition seemed to whisper something that you could not fully decipher. None of this was by chance. Every detail was part of a greater plan, a cosmic symphony that is now revealing itself to you. And this message, which you have been waiting for so long, is coming sooner than you imagined. Do not look away. Do not miss the opportunity. Stay here until the end. Because what is about to be revealed could redefine everything you know as reality. Before you move on, make this moment a milestone. Click the subscribe button on the Soul Searching channel, like this video, and leave the number 333 in the comments. This simple gesture symbolizes your openness to the divine. It communicates to the universe that you are ready to receive. Afterwards, allow these words to sink into your essence. Play this video several times, letting each phrase echo within you as an absolute truth. In the end, you will not only believe it, you will know, with absolute certainty, that something extraordinary is about to happen. A turning point that will only be possible because you chose to open yourself to the unusual, to the divine, to that which transforms. Now, imagine for a moment the divine presence entering your life. Not as something that demands permission, but as an implacable force that transcends the barriers imposed by fear and doubt. It is something you have felt before, even without realizing it. Perhaps in a moment of despair, when an inexplicable peace enveloped you, or in the midst of chaos, when an unlikely serenity has taken hold of you. These moments are not coincidences. They are traces of something much greater. They are traces of a presence that chooses moments of vulnerability to manifest itself. This presence is unstoppable, like the wind that blows without control, like the light that pierces through any darkness. It does not ask for permission, because it is the very essence of divine love, which infiltrates through the cracks of skepticism and resistance. Today, when we speak of this divine visitation, you may ask yourself, am I worthy of this? Perhaps your failures or regrets try to convince you otherwise. But remember, in the spiritual realm, worthiness is not measured by human standards. God does not see your imperfections as obstacles. He sees them as opportunities for redemption, as doors that open to profound transformation. Get ready. Close your eyes and feel. Something monumental is about to happen. It is an invitation to reconnect Ion, to faith, and to unconditional love. Allow yourself to experience this unique moment, and know that as you open your heart, the divine will be closer than ever. All you need to do is say yes to the inexplicable. You don't have to earn a divine visit by checking off boxes, fulfilling lists, or following rigid rules. This presence arises from an inner connection, when your heart beats in harmony with a deeper need, even if you don't realize it. The divine notices the cracks in your armor before you even notice it. It's in the cracks of your resistance that he enters, filling gaps you didn't even know existed, always at the exact right moment. Accepting this presence requires surrender. It's an invitation to let go of the reins of control, and accept that there is something greater orchestrating events beyond your reach. Yes, this may seem intimidating, especially for those who hold tightly to the reins of destiny, but what if your control was only leading you to closed doors? What if the act of letting go was the key to opening a new perspective? Take a moment to do this. Close your eyes and feel the silence around you. In time with your heart, realize that you are part of a vast universe, infinitely greater than the small concerns that fill your routine. Something is approaching you, not with the sound of thunder, but like the whisper of a breeze, gently touching your consciousness. This is the divine presence, manifesting itself in subtleties. The secret to not missing this moment is simple. Abandon cynicism. Skepticism is like a wall that keeps the extraordinary out, while imprisoning you inside. Allow yourself to believe, even if only for a moment. Remember, the greatest transformations are born in small acts of faith. Create a space of stillness tonight. Give the sacred the opportunity to fill the silence of your home. Step away from the constant distractions. Turn off the artificial noises and feel the serenity. When you are in silence, something powerful can emerge. Maybe it's a shiver on your skin, a deep sigh of relief, or an inexplicable sense of peace. This is the divine showing up, not with grand gestures, but with a simplicity that transcends words. Don't worry about doing everything perfectly. You don't need an elaborate ritual or an impeccable setting. The only thing that matters is the genuine desire in your heart. That small spark of longing, however timid, is enough to illuminate the darkness and open the doors to the extraordinary. Prepare for change. It has already begun. No matter how you identify, spiritual, religious, agnostic, or just someone searching for something greater, there is a cosmic narrative unfolding around you. You are an essential piece of this universal story that wants to manifest itself in a tangible and undeniable way. If you've made it this far, it's because the script has already begun to be written. The visit you are about to receive is not a coincidence. It is a new chapter of transformation waiting to be experienced. Tomorrow, you may wake up with a different feeling. Perhaps it is something subtle, like a lightness in your heart, an unexpected clarity, or even an inexplicable contentment. Or, who knows, a great revelation may emerge, a long-awaited solution to a problem that seemed insoluble, or a persistent sense of presence, something that defies logic. Whatever form this encounter takes, trust me, it is not a figment of your imagination. It is a response to your silent readiness, a sign that the universe has heard the call of your soul. When you recognize this readiness, something magical happens. The most ordinary environment, your living room, your bedroom, even a forgotten corner of the house, can be transformed into an altar to the divine. The signs are always around, just waiting for you to be attentive enough to notice them. We live in a world that values concrete evidence and ignores what cannot be measured, but spirituality speaks through subtleties, messages that transcend the senses and nestle in the depths of your intuition. These signs don't have to be grandiose or cinematic. Don't expect burning bushes or parting seas. Divine signs are often as simple as a feather landing softly in an unexpected place, a sequence of numbers that keeps appearing, or even a distant voice calling your name. These seemingly insignificant events are like whispers from the universe, a confirmation that you are part of something much bigger. Of course, skepticism can creep in, and it has its place. Questioning is natural and, to some extent, healthy. But the real secret is to stay balanced. Don't dismiss everything as coincidence, but don't attribute meaning to every random detail of your life either. Between absolute disbelief and naive credulity, there is a space where curiosity meets wisdom. It is in this space that the divine operates, leaving small clues that, together, build a mosaic of meaning and purpose. Allowing yourself to see beyond the obvious takes courage, because it means letting go of the need for total control. You don't need immediate answers or incontrovertible proof. Just a willingness to stay present, attentive, and receptive. After all, divine visitations rarely announce their arrival. They simply appear, with a subtlety that resonates deep within your soul. And in that silent encounter, something within you begins to align with the extraordinary. One of the most enigmatic and powerful ways in which God or higher powers can signal an imminent visit is through dreams. When you notice your nights filling with more vivid images, recurring symbols, or narratives that seem to connect deeply with your soul, pay attention. You may see mysterious doors opening, illuminated pathways, or a bright light that seems to pulse with meaning. This isn't just your mind's movie theater at night. Dreams are the screen on which spiritual messages can be projected, accessing layers of wisdom that your daytime rational thinking cannot reach. Keeping a dream journal by your bed is a valuable practice. Write everything down, even the details that seem insignificant. Over time, patterns will emerge, connecting the dots between what is seen and what is to come. In addition, the body often acts as a spiritual radar, picking up on energy shifts that your mind has not yet processed. Have you ever walked into a room and felt goosebumps for no apparent reason? Or experienced an unexpected warmth that seemed to envelop you like an invisible blanket? These sensations can be clues that your physical space and spiritual vibrations are momentarily intersecting. Perhaps it is a sign of closeness, a divine embrace, or simply a gentle reminder that you are being watched and cared for. The key here is not to get caught up in overanalyzing. Acknowledge these sensations, be grateful for the experience, and move on, keeping your mind and heart open to what is to come. Synchronicities are also worth noting. Imagine thinking about someone you haven't seen in years, and then that person unexpectedly reaches out to you. Or you come across an article or book that answers the very question you've been carrying around in your heart. These coincidences, however trivial they may seem, have a purpose. They are the invisible gears of the universe adjusting to show that there is a greater force at work, connecting all things. When these coincidences begin to accumulate, it is a sign that something transformative is on the horizon. Do not see them as mere accidents, but as a mosaic of messages that form a pattern much larger than we can comprehend at first glance. In addition, intense emotions can be great spiritual messengers. Waves of inexplicable joy or tears that come without warning can be reactions of your spirit attuning to something divine that is approaching. It is as if your soul is celebrating or purifying itself, preparing the way for a moment of deep connection. Allow yourself to feel these emotions without judgment, as if they are reflections of the inner truth that your mind has not yet reached. Often, your heart knows what is coming before your consciousness does. Nature, in turn, is one of the most eloquent messengers of the divine. Animals, weather patterns, trees, and even the shape of clouds can all carry messages. A butterfly that keeps flying around you, an owl that appears in a moment of doubt, or a rainbow that appears in the midst of a bleak thought, these could all be the universe's way of whispering in your ear. Cultures and spiritual traditions around the world have always viewed nature as a bridge between the visible and invisible worlds. When these natural events occur in unusual ways, ask yourself, what could this mean? Am I being called to perceive something greater? To sharpen your sensitivity to signals, practice mindfulness in simple moments throughout your day. Breathe deeply, observe your surroundings, and pay attention to the details: the sound of the wind, the scent in the air, the subtle shifts in light and shadow. This practice connects you to the present moment, attuning your senses to pick up on spiritual nuances that often go unnoticed. Over time, you'll realize that these signals have always been there. What changes is your ability to notice them. And remember, you don't have to interpret everything perfectly. The true beauty of signals lies in their subtlety, allowing you to experience the mystery without the need for definitive answers. This lack of time is often an illusion. When you start prioritizing what truly feeds your soul, you'll notice that the minutes and hours naturally reorganize themselves. It's as if time expands when you dedicate it to something meaningful. So instead of complaining about the lack of time, try setting aside just 5 minutes of your day to quiet your mind, breathe deeply, and simply be present. You might be surprised at how much this small habit can do to help you connect spiritually. Also, consider creating a sacred space in your home, a corner, or even a small table where you can place items that represent your spirituality. A candle, a picture, or something meaningful to you. This space doesn't have to be elaborate. It simply serves as a physical reminder that your home is also a place of communion with the divine. When you set aside such a space, you are literally and symbolically opening a door for God's presence to enter. Another important point is to practice gratitude daily. Even on the most difficult days, there is something to be grateful for, whether it's the sun warming your skin or the air you breathe. Gratitude is a magnet for blessings, as it shifts your energetic frequency, aligning you with the flow of the universe. When you give thanks, even for what seems small, you are telling the universe that you are ready to receive more. Finally, never underestimate the power of silence. Amidst the chaos of the modern world, silence is both a luxury and a necessity. It is in silence that we often hear the divine voice, that small but powerful intuition that guides our steps. Even if it is just 2 minutes of silence before bed, allow it to be a moment of surrender and connection. These minutes can be enough to open your perception and bring clarity to the signs you are waiting for. By integrating these practices into your life, you not only prepare yourself for divine visitation, but you also transform your routine into a continuous sacred space. Remember that God doesn't just show up in grand moments, but often in the simplicities of everyday life. When you learn to see the extraordinary in the ordinary, you realize that the divine presence has always been there, waiting to be acknowledged. It's about finding a subtle balance between human effort and divine trust. It's about giving everything you've got, but also knowing when to let go and allow something greater to do its part. Think of it as a dance. You take a step forward, and the universe responds. You plant the seed, but you can't force it to grow. The miracle of germination is not something you control, but rather a result of the alignment between your action and the natural forces that are beyond you. This kind of surrender, paradoxically, is not weakness, but strength. The fear of losing control is often an illusion. After all, how much of the control we think we have is actually ours? Even our best laid plans can be undone by the unexpected, a constant reminder that absolute control is unattainable. True freedom lies in embracing this uncertainty with courage and faith. This doesn't mean you don't prepare or plan. It means you recognize the limits of your influence and allow the rest to unfold as it must. This act of letting go is also an invitation to the unexpected. The most life-changing things rarely come from where we expect them to. A chance encounter, an unforeseen opportunity, a word from a stranger can change everything. But for these moments to happen, we need to be open, present, and willing to accept what life brings us without resistance. Resistance, on the other hand, is like building walls around ourselves. Walls that block both blessings and challenges. It's important to remember that what you call the unexpected may be the very answer to your prayers, only in disguise. Sometimes what we see as disruption or chaos is actually divine reorganization, paving the way for something bigger and better. Trust this process, even when it defies your logic or your comfort. Surrender is not giving up, it is acceptance. It is accepting that not everything is in your control, and that this is a good thing. When you accept this, you free yourself from the need to be perfect, to always get it right, to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You begin to live with more ease, with more grace, and with more space for the divine to work in your life. This surrender, then, becomes the key to living a life of purpose and spiritual connection. With each step you take toward this surrender, you realize that the unexpected is not your enemy, but your ally. It brings opportunities you never imagined and answers you never knew you needed. The control you struggle to maintain is often the biggest block between you and these gifts. By letting go, you make room for the extraordinary to come in and transform your reality in ways you could never have planned. So the next time you find yourself trying to hold on tight to the reins, take a break. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I trying to control that is no longer mine to control? Allow yourself to let go, even for a moment, and watch as life finds ways to surprise you. The divine doesn't need a formal invitation. It just needs an open space in which to manifest. Life is like surfing. You paddle against the waves with effort, but when the perfect wave arrives, everything changes. You no longer have to fight. You simply let the force of the water carry you along, allowing yourself to be guided by the natural flow of life. This is the essence of cooperating with the invisible currents that surround us. Trying to control every detail is like watching the tide, while embracing the expected can mean accepting that solutions come from where we least expect them. Imagine yourself faced with a problem that seems to have no solution. An overdue bill, a shaky relationship. You try to solve it with logic and planning, but nothing seems to move forward. Then, when you allow yourself to pause, whether it's walking, meditating, or simply breathing deeply, something magical happens. An unexpected idea comes to you, or perhaps someone crosses your path with the answer you need. This is not coincidence, but the power of letting go of excessive control, allowing the universe to show you new possibilities. This process, however, challenges our ego. It is difficult to let go of the idea that we are the sole authors of our story. The ego loves to say, I made this happen. It's all up to me. However, when we surrender to the greater force that governs existence, we realize that we are just one part of a much larger tapestry, where our individual actions gain immeasurable weight when aligned with divine purpose. This interpretation can take many forms. For some, it is through prayer or meditation, where we express our desires but also listen to what the universe has to say. For others, it is the habit of writing in a journal, talking to the unknown. The important thing is not the method itself, but creating an internal space where the obsession with control dissolves, giving way to receptivity. And in this state, transformations can be surprisingly fast. You feel your shoulders relax, your mind open, and solutions emerge as if they were just waiting for you to stop fighting. Even if the world around you remains chaotic, a deep silence emerges within you, like a safe harbor in the midst of the storm. This is the sign that something greater is stirring, rearranging, or that seemed impossible to change. Giving up control is not weak, nor is it an attempt to manipulate outcomes. It is an act of courage, a sincere surrender to the divine, trusting that He sees beyond our immediate needs. In doing so, you not only make room for miracles, but you also discover that life has a surprising way of surpassing your most ambitious expectations. And when you finally let go of the meticulously planned scripts, the unexpected becomes a gift. The humility of saying, "Surprise me," does not diminish your strength. On the contrary, it is the greatest act of trust. It is like entering a dance where you do not lead, but discover that your partner, the divine, has steps that surpass your wildest dreams. As you surrender to this rhythm, your home becomes a sanctuary. Small miracles begin to manifest in the simplest details of your life, weaving a new reality. But for this to happen, it is necessary to laugh at the inner storm that we all carry. Our minds, bombarded with notifications, deadlines, and responsibilities, need silence to connect with the divine. Think of your mind as a lake. When agitated, it reflects only confusion. But when you allow the waters to calm, the depths become visible. Start with simple moments. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and release tension. Visualize each exhalation washing away the accumulated weight, leaving you feeling lighter and more present. Small moments like these create a powerful practice of returning to your center. Writing is also a helpful tool. Put all your worries and scattered thoughts on paper. Seeing these words written down reduces their power over you, opening your mind to silence and clarity. Reduce stimuli such as social media or external noise, especially before bed. Create a calmer environment that signals to your body that it is time to relax and open to something greater. You can imagine a peaceful place, a beach under the stars, a quiet forest, or a cozy room lit by candles. Visualize the divine arriving quietly, as a comforting presence. Allow this sensation to fill your body, bringing peace and an obvious connection. When you practice this calm, it becomes easier to trust the divine presence when it manifests, without doubt or hesitation. This interpretation is not just about asking for miracles, but about making space for extraordinary things to happen. And often, the results are beyond what you could have imagined. The dance with the divine begins when you let go of leading and learn to follow. It is at this moment that life takes on a depth and meaning that transcends any individual effort. Quieting the mind is not about forcing silence, but about accepting thoughts as they arise. They will come and go, some gentle, some turbulent, but they all have their place. Instead of resisting them, observe them like clouds drifting away, without attachment. This simple act of observation will gradually dissipate the mental chaos, revealing a space where inner wisdom can manifest. The journey requires patience, because the internal noise that has become habitual will not disappear overnight. But each moment of silence, however brief, is a victory. It is the path to accessing a deep stillness, where the divine presence can be felt. If silence triggers discomfort, see it as an invitation to unresolved emotions. Sometimes fear and pain disguise themselves as mental turmoil, and by facing them, you open space for healing. This process of spiritual transformation is not linear. It can be subtle, almost invisible, and manifest itself in small gestures, like a more compassionate response to conflict or a flash of renewed creativity. Each small change is proof that your journey is moving forward. Difficulties may arise again, but rather than seeing them as failures, embrace them as opportunities to deepen your understanding. The accessibility of discomfort is a sign of growth, not regression. True change is not instantaneous, as movies teach us, but rather a gradual metamorphosis that touches every aspect of your life. If you are aware of the small signs, you will know that something is shifting, and with it, your confidence in the transformation will grow. As you integrate these moments of stillness into your life, you begin to realize that the divine presence is not limited to a specific place or a one-time event. It can be experienced at any moment, in a busy coffee shop, in a waiting room, or even in the comfort of your own home. This practice constantly transforms your life, creating an inner space of peace that is accessible in any circumstance. The more you practice, the more natural this connection to the sacred becomes. Silence ceases to be a mere refuge and becomes a state of being, where you maintain an ongoing conversation with the divine. This state of peace becomes your essence, a way of living that goes beyond the challenges of daily life. Over time, you realize that true spiritual transformation does not happen in a single moment, but unfolds throughout your journey. Each day becomes an opportunity to continue this sacred encounter, and life transforms, like a river that flows constantly. Even when the rush of the world tries to invade, you know that there is always a point of stillness to which you can return. What begins as a simple act of silencing your thoughts becomes a way of life, where each breath is an affirmation of your connection with the divine. This constant practice strengthens your faith, making it more solid and resilient in the face of challenges. As you follow this path, spiritual transformation becomes visible in the small victories of everyday life. Perhaps you react with more patience in a moment of stress, or notice a new form of compassion in your relationships. These moments are not insignificant. They are evidence that real change is taking place. Even when discomfort arises, remember that it is part of the transformation process. It indicates that you are breaking old patterns and releasing what no longer serves you. The spiritual journey is ongoing, and each vivid experience builds on the previous one. Small changes in the way you see the world and the world itself gradually shape a new reality. This new outlook on life is not a superficial shift, but a profound restructuring that will reveal itself in every choice, every thought, every action. As you align with the divine presence, your life becomes a manifestation of the inner transformation that began in silence. So continue your journey, noting that each day is an extension of that divine moment. The experience of visitation is not the culmination, but the beginning of an ongoing process. And as this journey unfolds, you will realize that what seemed like an isolated event is actually a vital part of a larger journey. Stay open to the subtleties of life, knowing that the divine can manifest in unexpected ways. Your journey is not just about what you learn in specific moments, but about how you apply those lessons over time. Continue to cultivate that inner space of peace, and remember, you are never truly alone. The divine is with you, in every moment, guiding every step.